early. Like most people with regular work hours, my wife left for work. I typically called her when hunting, but I was in a rush this morning. I hiked 2 miles to my tree stand and arrived at 10:15 a.m. My stand faced a large pine area and was 20 feet tall on the front. The backside faced the river and plummeted to big boulders. I tied off my rifle to be pulled up after my hike and headed up. I reached the top and was about to raise my rifle up when I heard a snap. I would go back here often to reflect on my life. One time with a friend, I measured 80 feet from the stand to the boulder I landed on. As I fell to the river below, I saw it rising quickly. I knew I was dead, and even though it was seconds before impact, it felt like slow motion. I thought of my wife, daughter, family, and where I was. Would I ever be found? Then night. I don't know how long it was dark. Then something great happened. I felt like I was leaving. I was floating a few feet above the water. I felt conflicted about my body. I watched blood trickling down the boulder as I blew from my lips, nose, and ears. As I contemplated my physique, I felt a pulling and rose quickly. I was ascending rapidly through the atmosphere. After leaving the atmosphere, I saw the Earth, beautifully lighted. Looking forward, I saw planets. I thought it was impossible. Where's Jesus? I was never warned this would happen after I died. Speed was rising. I spotted other star systems and galaxies while racing. I entered an apparent hole. The night was lengthy, but I saw streaks of light in every color. A dim light was brightening ahead. My entire body felt the light as I entered it. No more fear. I suddenly faced a big staircase. They led to a bridge or walk. I beheld a marvel, a glass or crystal city, in the distance. Many colored lights radiated from it. I never saw something like this. I started going toward the city in disbelief. So many questions ran through my head. I needed to know my location and situation. I noticed a 30-foot tall, 30-foot wide double door at the city's front. It appeared polished. Doors opened as I stood there wondering. I stepped back and peered in. I saw people roaming about inside, like in a mall on Earth. However, these people dressed differently. One thing was that they all wore hooded robes. What I saw as I entered was astounding. The inside was huge. It appeared square with a balcony around it leading to multiple levels. I walked up and looked down over the balcony, which appeared endless. I looked up and saw several passing by, but no one noticed me. Suddenly, one stopped approaching me. He slowly raised his head, revealing his face. He was human save for one thing. His pupilless eyes changed blue colors. His hair was white snow. He turned and pointed to a lengthy hallway before I could speak. I knew I had to travel down this hallway even though we never spoke. I beheld a marvel, a glass or crystal city, in the distance. Many colored lights radiated from it. I never saw something like this. I started going toward the city in disbelief. So many questions ran through my head. I needed to know my location and situation. I noticed a 30-foot tall, 30-foot wide double door at the city's front. It appeared polished. Doors opened as I stood there wondering. I stepped back and peered in. I saw people roaming about inside, like in a mall on Earth. However, these people dressed differently. One thing was that they all wore hooded robes. What I saw as I entered was astounding. The inside was huge. It appeared square with a balcony around it leading to multiple levels. I walked up and looked down over the balcony, which appeared endless. I looked up and saw several passing by, but no one noticed me. Suddenly, one stopped approaching me. He slowly raised his head, revealing his face. He was human save for one thing. His pupilless eyes changed blue colors. His hair was white snow. He turned and pointed to a lengthy hallway before I could speak. I knew I had to travel down this hallway, even though we never spoke. He resumed as if nothing had happened. Something was pulling me onward, so I had to. This hallway ended after a lengthy trek. Right and left turns were avoided. I sensed my questions will be addressed. I spotted another huge double door. Gold or not, it appeared to be metal. It was unclear. Doors opened abruptly. I heard an inner voice say, "Enter." The doors closed abruptly as I performed as instructed. I was terrified for the first time. Total darkness and quiet. After an unknown time, a bright light appeared in the chamber. It got brighter. a little above and in front of me. I tried to look but was almost blinded. With my hands up, I saw a figure sitting on a seat. Then it happened unexpectedly. "What have you done with your life?" Voice entered me. There was no reply. A movie appeared to my right, and I was in it. I saw my birth, upbringing, and pals. I saw everything from childhood. My life unfolded before me, showing everything I had done. I attempted to recall my nice deeds. I was reared in church and involved in church. Although I contemplated this, I spotted a man in his car with no gas. About a year ago, I stopped and drove him to a store. Since he had no money, I bought him gas and helped him leave. I wondered, why am I seeing this? Loud and clear. You helped this soul without expecting anything in return. These activities define goodness. I saw all the people I hurt and how my actions influenced others. Shocked, I never imagined my life influencing friends, relatives, and others we met. All my efforts were seen. It disappointed me. I watched until the finish. I have done little with my life. I was selfish and harsh in many ways. Shame on me for doing so little. I heard the voice again clearly. You must return. Despite what I had seen and heard, I wanted to stay and did not want to return. I have so many questions, I said. Important information. Don't understand. Change your life to help others change. Doctors will want to operate. Do not allow this. Doing so will prevent future walking. Someone will visit you to answer your queries. You'll return when I call. These will help you recover from everything. Behold the future. I turned and saw battles, murder, and havoc on Earth. Cities fell and rebuilt. The U.S. and a volcano exploded, darkening numerous cities. I witnessed the breakdown of our government and people killing for food and water. Horrible images. I saw a huge explosion in Earth's atmosphere, destroying much territory. I noticed a new generation of pleasant young people. There were few cities left, but these folks seemed happy. It is time for you to go, I heard again, but I wanted more. After the doors opened, I felt almost dragged down the hallway. I sensed myself shooting through this hole as I entered the city. Going faster, I couldn't stop. The river was below me when I entered Earth's atmosphere. I observed my body remaining inert. It felt like a huge electric shock. My body jumped. The skyline and trees were visible as I opened my eyes. Oh, the agony. I was gasping for air and choking on blood, rolling onto my stomach. All I could do was suffer. I noticed the sun was lower than usual. I checked my watch, 5:30. Only how to find help crossed my mind. I realized my rifle was close, still connected to my waist rope. I pulled it closer me. I grabbed the barrel and brought it up. I shot every 10 minutes to attract someone. I crawled on my stomach with my rifle stock because it was late and I knew I wouldn't make it. I crawled along the riverside trail. I crawled. It hurt so much. I fainted numerous times in heavy undergrowth and briar. I wanted to quit. I was exhausted and hurting. I knew I had to get somewhere where I could be found. I hoped. I could see my route through the trees in front of me. I heard distant sounds. Yes, thank you, God, I said. I reached the road and cried for aid. I was too fatigued to move and lay in the road. I was sleeping on the road when my father-in-law came home from work. It's all right, he said. Help is on the way. That was all I recalled until I saw the emergency room lights. The doctor was at my feet. His words, "Can you feel this?" Feel what? I requested. He was sticking my legs and feet. Paralyzed. We cannot help you here, son, he said. We are sending you by ambulance to a hospital that can handle your injuries. I was out like a flash from pain or drugs. My hospital bed was flanked by 2 doctors the next afternoon. They introduced themselves as my attending physicians and told me I needed surgery immediately. Broken backbones were pressuring my spinal nerve, paralyzing me. I heard the warning again. Don't let them operate or you'll never walk again. I understood fully but knew they wouldn't. I requested to see my wife and daughter first. My wife and daughter came immediately after the doctor's appointment. I told her their words, she advised. I must realize they helped me when needed. I couldn't tell her what happened. She respected my requests when I told her I didn't want to be operated on. After I informed the doctors of my decision, they were furious. I attended lecture after lecture. Okay, one said, if you never want to walk again, that's up to you. Out they went. I cried on my bed that night. Was I crazy? What was I doing? Light filled my room. You will be well, said a voice. Then it left. I calmed down and fell asleep. Days became weeks, weeks became months. Then my feet started tingling one morning. Joy overcame me. I indicated to the nurse my want to walk. She stated, we'll see, we'll see. I was sure I was healed. The nurse called my doctor, who came the next morning. So, you think you can walk? Yes, I said. Well, we will see. I went to physical therapy a few hours later. They lowered my bed and elevated me. The nurse assisted me before parallel bars. I held the bars and planted my feet. Step 1, 2. My God, he's walking. One nurse told the one who brought me down. The following days were tough. As prescribed, I underwent countless x-rays and physical therapy visits. My wife and family were shocked, but I knew what I was told was real. My doctor was even more surprised when no bones compressed my spinal nerve. This is abnormal, he remarked. A greater power seems to have done for you what surgery was going to fix. Never seen anything like this. That day altered my life, and I can serve others in ways I never imagined. This has guided me in my search for truth, peace, and light. Therefore, I'm